Hey, watch people, world, hello. This is Rolexaholic. It's a funny name. I don't know. I came about the name. I came about deciding on the name by looking at other people's names and trying to understand what's best. And I really liked someone's intervention in this, a guy called Jassim, and he is Mr. Patekaholic, coming from Patek Philippe. So I thought I can have mine called Rolexaholic. I don't know how good this is going to be, but this is going to be a channel, hopefully, about Rolex and watches, but beginning from Rolex and then moving down. My son said that I have to smile, so I don't know. I have to make this pleasant and enjoyable. So let's try and see how at least enjoyable it's going to be for you, and what am I going to be providing content-wise. So why have I chosen to do this? I'm a professional, and I don't have the urge to monetize and make a living out of this. And I'm doing this for the good of the world of watches and to give back something to society. This is not a channel, or I'm not sponsored by a watch dealer, a second-hand watch dealer, or a dealer that provides watches for the community. I'm not being paid by anybody, certainly by any of the big brands. So I'm doing this because I want to be as independent as possible in my views. Certainly, I like Rolex. That's my favorite brand, but that's my own view, and you can disagree. But I'm not being, again, sponsored by anybody. And I thought that it's about time to say my 2 cents, only because I find a lot of nonsense. I find a lot of riffraff. I find a lot of independent views, but really they're not that independent because everybody has a vested interest. Or at least many have a vested interest, because this is a way to monetize. And if you have a lot of subscribers, you end up being monetized. And once you get monetized, you become more subjective because you're involved in the game of making money through sponsorships. Of course, if I'm sponsored by, Gatorade, or a soft drinks supplier, that's a different story. But many of them are not. Many of them appear as independents, and they're being sponsored by people who are in the market of watches. Anyway, let me say something about, the brand and why I chose to talk about Rolex and not chose to talk about other brands. So Rolex certainly is one of many, and there are many excellent watches out there. We are in the golden age of excellent watches. But I do think that Rolex is really, in my view, again, it's my view, you can disagree, one of the best watches. Is it the best? No, I don't think so, but there are no the best watch or watches out there. There is no single best car. You might have a view on what is your best car, but I don't think there is the best car. Of course, you can pay a lot of money and have a watch made for your own specifications. You can choose the dial, and you can pay a lot of money. But here we're talking about a brand, and certain brands that are massively, or in many ways, more than a few produced. So in my opinion, I do believe that Rolex is an excellent brand because it works well. First of all, the watch works very well, and it will last you. And probably, I believe so, it will outlive you unless you abuse it and destroy it. It will outlive you. Secondly, um, is this a watch similar to a Patek Philippe or a Lange and Zone? No, it's not a similar watch. These are different watches. It's like comparing oranges to apples. Rolex is not a brand that should be compared to a Patek Philippe or a Lange or a Audemars Piguet. These are very different brands. People make the mistake to say, is an AP like a Rolex? Is a Rolex like a Lange? Is a Lange like a GG Lecoutre? No, it's not. These are different brands doing different things, and you should not lump them all together. But I do believe that Rolex works. Rolex maintains a very high resale value. Rolex is not worn by everyone. Another criticism I often hear is that, Rolex is worn by a lot of people, whereas, Vacheron, Constantin is worn only by a limited amount of people. Yes, it is true. Vacheron produces very few pieces, fewer than Rolex. Rolex produces more than 1 million. Vacheron is, anything between 40 to 50,000 pieces. But in general, again, Rolex against the global population is not a brand that is widely worn. You have more than 8 billion people living in this world, and there is only 1 million Rolexes being produced. Of course, I would say that, it depends what you want to do. If you want to have this certain, unique exclusivity, you can go for other brands. However, Rolex, as I said, works. It has a high resale value, and finally, it is, to the eye of the beholder, I believe it is a beautiful watch, and it will last you for a long time. And I think that it's a brand that you cannot go bad. So Rolex all the way. Thank you.